what might be counted as one man's war with Big Brother. Dick Thompson says he just wants to be left alone, but a county government now plans to throw him off his land because they say he's breaking the law by living, frankly, too simply. 24-Hour News 8's Brad Edwards is on the case in Alexandria in northern Madison County.
Just past a little place that calls itself small, there's a mailbox by an old beater, a story of a man with a frosty relationship with the county. Where is that man? There he is. There's Dick Thompson.
This is Sunshine.
This is Bird.
He likes peppermints. That's Fritzy.
His horse, his miniature horse, his...
Hey, Ace!
Oh, Pete! Got a little close to Ace there. This, his 36 acres, his dump truck, his wagon, and home sweet home.
They're telling me to get out of here. I think it's a bunch of bull. And everybody else does too.
Do you have anywhere to go?
No.
The county attorney tells 24-Hour News 8 he's breaking multiple ordinances and health code violations. He's got no electricity, no sewer, no water, been to court a number of times, and now Mr. Thompson has got to go.
November 30th, 2010.
The date. He waited for the sheriff's department to arrive. No water, no sewer, no electricity.
I'm a country boy.
He's got everything, everyone he needs.
Can you tell Fritz you were just trying to do an interview here?
Get out of here, Fritz. Go on. I just want to be left alone.
This, his parents' land he purchased, and now he's living free of trappings. Well, he's just fine, thank you very much, and tired of the court dates and the summonses they make him.
I want to get the hell out of here now. Too much hate.
Where are you going to go?
I have no idea.
Maybe he thinks it is time to give up. To be continued. Brad Edwards, 24-Hour News 8.
Now, a county official tells us it's simply not safe and sanitary to live like that. As for when eviction might come, if they can get past the dog, it could be any time.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Government News. Today is Tuesday, December 7th, 2010, and I am Darko. Welcome to this War on Terror, Liberty, Sovereignty News segment. I have a bunch of news to cover. You just saw that video of the individual who just wanted to be left alone, just wanted to live simply, and because he's not on the grid, because he doesn't have, sewer lines running through there, and doesn't have the NIPSCO or whoever, ComEd it is, whoever the local fascist utility company is near you, Amerin, they want to have lines going through your property. You can't just live on a piece of land, even though you own it, and well, you don't really own it, you rent it. If you pay taxes and you don't have a allodial title, you're basically renting the property, and you pay property tax as a way to show that you don't own it, that you're renting it from the state. So I don't know if this individual actually owned the land and had the allodial title, but either way, let's say that you did, or even that you didn't, and you just paid your property taxes. The state and the corporations, well, you could say the state is a corporation itself, but they don't like when individuals are able to be self-sustainable. That's why they don't like plain living. They don't like people that build their own houses and don't take on 50-year mortgages, right? They just build their own home. They live simply. They don't ask for a lot. They just want to be left alone. And that's what this war on terror, liberty, sovereignty is. It's a war of terror. It's a war on the individual. And it's about trying to force people into this collectivist, so you can call it a collectivist society. I mean, the society itself is a controlled and steered society by a small group of elite eugenicists that are pushing for globalism, have basically brought us into this world that they call a global economy, and now we can't look back. We got to keep moving forward, and we have to adapt and not be protectionist, and all that other rhetoric that you hear. So let's move on here. This is an older story, but still, nonetheless, just terrible, right? High school, even if you believe in God or you don't believe in a God, you're religious or you're not religious, it doesn't really matter. High school player flagged for touchdown, nod to God. Are Hail Marys banned too? A high school football player in Tacoma, Washington got flagged for dropping to his knee and pointing to the sky after scoring a touchdown during a playoff game. Quote, "It's just something I do every time I get in the end zone," said Ronnie Hasty at Tumwater High School. school running back, quote, "To my honor, my Lord, because I play for him, I give him the glory because he's the one that gives me the strength." Now, you can agree with him or not agree with him, but either way, I think it's just getting totally ridiculous. This is about as horrible as the story that I just covered about a month ago, where there was a young student, a male student of, I think, 12, 13 years of age, and he was basically ordered, because I guess the students were complaining, right, about this American flag that he was carrying on the back of his bike. I think his name was Cody or something like that, but it was horrible. I mean, he had to remove American flag from the back of his bike. And again, it's like, you don't even have to be a statist. It's about freedom of expression. You know, you cannot even believe in a government and be an anarchist. You know, your philosophy is no government, that you can, you know, have self-government. And you can still be appalled by this story, because it's not about nationalism, it's about freedom of expression. And it is going away, people. It's going, it's gone. It's pretty much not even here. So move on to this next article. Homeland Security violating due process and free speech and internet power grab. Law professor David Post notes that the Department of Homeland Security is seizing entire domain names not to protect national security, but to enforce run-of-the-mill copyrights. He calls this an unconstitutional due process violation, noting that, quote, 80 websites have now been prevented from speaking to U.S. citizens, even though the website operators whose domains were seized had no notice or opportunity to respond to the charges against them. And it says no adversary hearing, and certainly no adjudication before a neutral judge that anything unlawful is going on at these sites. He also notes that Congress has not yet passed a bill that would have granted the federal government the specific authority to seize domain names. You can go on and check this article out. Like I said, I have a bunch of news to cover, so the link will be posted, and all these links will be posted as always, so please check them out in the video description. And this next one up, nano satellite successfully ejected from free-flying microsatellite in space. I saw this, and I'm just like, well, I got to include this in there because it is about privacy, which we don't have any privacy at all, basically. And this is just crazy because you got these, this, what is it, X-37B spy plane up there, and then you got the Russians with their spy plane, and then you just have the U.S. and basically launching the biggest spy satellite in history just in the past couple weeks. And then you have this, and it's just like, what the hell is going on? Japan just launched a satellite into Venus, I believe it was. Was it Venus? And oh yeah, and it just happened to shut down when it got there, just like the Russians' little satellites happened to crash. So just not pointing any fingers, but I'm just saying it's kind of ironic. Said on December 6th at 1:31 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, NASA for the first time successfully ejected a nano satellite from a free-flying microsatellite. NanoSail-D ejected from the Fast Affordable Science and Technology satellite FastSat, demonstrating the capability to deploy a small CubeSat payload from an autonomous microsatellite in space. Autonomous. That's like our high-altitude airship. That's also autonomous. Just like the X-37B, that is also autonomous. Everything is going to be autonomous. I keep saying that word. I'm stressing it because it's all about taking the human element out of everything. So eventually, like I said, you just have a bunch of dumbed-down plebs, just enough of them with just enough intelligence, a few brain cells they can scrap together to operate these machines on the ground or remotely. Mail Online, Justice Iraq-style 39 al-Qaeda suspects who are all facing execution without trial. It says security forces in Iraq said it arrested 39 al-Qaeda militants, including one of its top officers, in raids over the past 5 weeks. Wearing orange prison uniforms, the men were paraded at the news conference and faced being executed without facing a trial, according to reports. The group is alleged to have carried out car bombings and attacks against police in Anbar, the former al-Qaeda stronghold, as well as recruiting suicide bombers and plotting attacks on government ministries. And why do I call them al-Qaeda? Well, because they actually work for all the intelligence agencies, all of them. And many of them don't even know it. There are individuals within this group that probably do know, like maybe that guy right there. Who knows? I'm just joking around, but there are probably at least one or two of these guys that are in direct contact with intelligence agencies, and they're all leading these poor people who are trying to maintain their sovereignty. They're trying to maintain their sovereignty, and we call them terrorists, and that's what we're going to call patriots when the shots start firing, if they do, right? We're going to start calling them domestic terrorists. And then you see, then things aren't really black and white anymore. And I just wanted to explain that. That's why I say CIA to these people are basically like patriots working, doing what they're doing. I'm not saying killing innocent people in the name of terrorism is good. I'm talking about fighting foreign occupiers. So, and they're being led off a cliff because they don't know that their leaders are actually working for the CIA. And then you have little other groups that are just little militias, militants that are not taking orders from intelligence agencies. So just wanted to clarify that. U.S. facing attacks by homegrown terrorists, senior advisor warns the sheer volume of terror plots against the U.S. means the country will become unable to prevent a fatal terror attack by a new breed of extremists radicalized in America's towns and cities, the top counterterrorism official said. And they had some propaganda coming out after that, right around this article, saying, oh, he had 2 lives, and you know, a guy liked to drink gin and play video games. But he's a patsy. It says tension grows between California Muslims and FBI after informant infiltrates mosque. Before the sun rose, the informant donned a white Islamic robe. A tiny camera was sewn into a button, and a microphone was buried in a device attached to his keys. That's right, guys. The FBI is like, this is what I'm saying. They have to create these people because they don't exist. No one just attacks people because they hate, you know, they hate freedom. They're attacking people because for some kind of reason. Unfortunately, like I said, like today, December 7th, is the anniversary of one of the biggest false flag government-sponsored attacks in history, Pearl Harbor, which millions were, at least hundreds of thousands of Americans were killed for no reason. And I'm sorry if you don't agree with me on that, and it's a harsh reality that we all have to face, but it was for no effing reason. We went to go fight Nazism, National Socialism, and what did we become? We became fascists. We became Nazis. In fact, we brought them over here. So, you know, they knew about it just like they knew about 9/11, and they just allowed it to happen. And look what happened after that. That's all you have to really know. So they groomed this person for months and spent your tax dollars on creating a fake terrorist. The undercover FBI informant, a convicted forger named Matala, then drove off 5 a.m. prayers at Islamic Center, where he says he spied on dozens of worshippers in a quest for potential terrorists. So there you go. And that's actually a separate story from this. Was FBI grooming Portland suspect for terror? FBI undercover operatives helped fund Mohamed Osman Mohamud's would-be terrorism plot to detonate a car bomb during a Christmas tree lighting ceremony on Friday at a crowded public square in the heart of the city. Operatives helped him find components needed to create a bomb and schooled the 19-year-old Somali-born man and how to set off the explosives. And remember the Christmas Day underwear bomber, he was also a patsy working for intelligence agencies. So you got to just put all these little pieces together, and then you get to see reality, right? You're not going to see this false reality that you're given, that you're spoon-fed from the mainstream media. So, and of course, they're trying to attach this to Somalia and Yemen. Everything points towards Yemen. A problem, reaction, solution. Portland Patty serves as impetus for rejoining terrorism task force. And activist post writer Tony Cardalucci basically goes in there and makes the case for how this actually played into their hands. And now the organs, I think it's the division of the FBI. The FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force. Yeah, and now Portland, their city, is now considering going back into this Joint Terrorism Task Force. They withdrew from it. They were the first ones because they thought it was BS. Now they're back into it. So now you need to photo ID to ship UPS packages. It says because there's nothing that stops fraud or terrorism like being made to show a photo ID, UPS has announced that customers will need to show a government-issued ID when shipping that tin of cookies to their Aunt Mabel for their 90th birthday. So, and of course it comes as the response to those explosive devices shipped on a cargo plane in October, which also was a bunch of pooey crap, right? Because you end up reading the articles coming out of Yemen and the other countries, and what did they say? They said, actually, we don't even accept UPS packages in this country. DHS bans package over 1 pound from shipping to U.S. So, yeah, now Japan will stop accepting airmail packages bound for the U.S., weighing 1 pound or more starting Wednesday because airlines will stop such delivery at the request of U.S. aviation authorities as part of anti-terrorism measures. This next article up is from the Washington Post, and it's titled Palestinians Angry Over New Israeli Building Plans. And we're about to run out of time here, folks, so please join me in part 2 of this War on Terror, Liberty, Sovereignty news segment. This is GGN. I'm Darko. Thank you.